Mr. Ullman, thank you very much. Thank you for all of your service. And now we're going to hear from Carlton Waterhouse. And Mr. Waterhouse, you may begin when you are ready. Feel free to introduce. I know you have a couple of people from your family here, and feel free to introduce them if you wish.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Senator. Thank you, Chairman Carper, Ranking Member Capito, and members of the committee. I'm grateful for your time and honored to appear before you this morning. I want to thank Senator Warner for his kind introduction. I want to thank President Biden for nominating me for this position. I want to thank my father and mother and grandmother for their support and encouragement through the years. And I especially want to thank my wonderful wife, Courtney, who's here with me today. And I'm blessed to have her at my side.
Wife of 4 months.
Wife of 4 months, that's right.
First 4 months are the toughest, so hang in there, Courtney.
Thank you, Senator. I also want to thank my pastor and church family who are praying for me. And I want to acknowledge those who are here with me today. In addition to Courtney, I have my two amazing children, Nia and Joshua.
Nia, would you raise your hand? Okay. Joshua? Okay. Welcome.
My father and mother were unable to make the trip to join us, unfortunately, but they're watching on television along with my brother and sister and my 106-year-old grandmother.
Did you say 106?
106.
What is her secret for living that long?
She never owned a car.
I'm going to sell my car tomorrow. That's amazing. I tell people, when I meet people who are like 82 or whatever, I'll say, I hope when I'm 82, I know who I am and where I am. 106, that's just amazing.
And she's very spry. She's a spry 106.
You may be with us for a while.
I've dedicated my life to raising my voice for people whose needs go unheard. And when I advocate for others, I reflect on the wisdom and amazing life lessons I received from my parents and my grandmother. They instilled in me the value of hard work, public service, and faith. My father grew up in the Jim Crow South in a small town in East Texas. He joined the Army at 17 to escape the mistreatment that he and other African Americans lived through daily. He served faithfully through the transition from the segregated Army and was ultimately promoted to the rank of Master Sergeant. He earned a Purple Heart, Bronze Star, and other medals for his valiant service in the Korean War.
Now, for those who don't know, Master Sergeant, that's pretty good, isn't it? That's pretty good. What is that, an E8?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Out of E9, you can't do much better than that.
He retired from the Army following 20 years of military service and dedicated 20 more years through the 70s and 80s as a civil servant, managing commissaries for our troops and their families in Virginia and Alaska. In fact, it was our drive from my hometown in Virginia to Alaska that provided me with the early appreciation for the beauty of our country and the wonder of the natural world. My mother likewise spent over 30 years of her life in federal service, including 10 years with the International Trade Commission. She worked her way up from an entry-level position to become an office manager before she retired. She, like her mother, my grandmother, demonstrated persistence in the face of adversity. My grandmother worked as a server for many years in an all-white country club in my hometown that continued to exclude blacks and other people of color from membership up through my time attending law school. We never dropped her off or visited her at work since we were not welcome there unless we were workers. Like so many African Americans, they endured these challenges through an abiding faith in God. Likewise, my faith undergirds my life. I'm a first-generation college graduate. It was my faith that sustained me through challenges as a young man and ultimately provided me with a sense of purpose and direction that has guided me ever since. I enrolled in Howard's Law School to focus on civil rights and the environment because of the Christian imperative that we protect people in need and act as stewards of the world. After law school, I began at EPA's Region 4 Office of Regional Counsel. My 9+ years of service with EPA in the region and in headquarters gave me firsthand experience of environmental protection at the ground level, where people experience the worst effects of pollution. I represented the agency as the lead attorney in cases under the Clean Water Act, the Emergency Planning and Community Right to Know Act, and other environmental laws. But the bulk of my time was spent working within the Superfund and Resource Conservation and Recovery Act programs. In Superfund, the Smiths Farm Superfund site stands out among many. I reviewed numerous technical documents for legal sufficiency in that case, as in others, and oversaw the issuance of administrative orders to require responsible parties to clean up the site. I also served as EPA's negotiator with the scores of responsible parties, and together with the remedial project manager, created the allocation of responsibility that resulted in a roughly $40 million settlement for the site. I worked with state officials to obtain the nation's first approvals for the Subtitle D sanitary landfill program under RCRA, and served as Region 4's lead attorney on environmental justice. I routinely met with community members and EPA staff to address community concerns about environmental problems, and I was truly humbled to be recognized by the agency for my work and to be presented with Bronze Medal Awards on 4 separate occasions. As a law professor, I focused my research on correcting environmental and other social injustices. Drawing on my graduate studies in social ethics, my work promotes policies that better protect people. In addition to working with students, I dedicated my time to working with community groups faced with environmental challenges in Indiana, Puerto Rico, and in the DC metro area. I've been fortunate to have spent my career on issues near and dear to me, issues that touch the lives of all Americans. Throughout my career, I've learned so much about the importance of forging consensus, listening intently to varied perspectives, and making decisions that put the well-being of our communities first. Thank you again for the opportunity to speak before you today. I look forward to answering your questions.